What's up, pedal people? We've done 12 of the new TC tank pedals, that's what I call them. And here is number 13, here's number 13, and then we're done. That was a massive series. Then again, this might be the first and only video you're watching because you're only interested in the force field compressor. Let's get into it. First I'm going to talk about the pedal in general. Then I'm going to tell you what a compressor is, because most people don't know it, and what it does and why. And then we're going to listen to it. Here, this is what it looks like, only in white. So, these pedals used to be Behringer pedals. They've been upgraded quite a bit in terms of their appearance, their build quality, and apparently, from what I've heard, some comments on videos that are already out, the sounds also have improved. I can't say anything about this because I've never heard the Behringer pedals. So here's what's happening. We have this very sturdy metal instead of plastic chassis with pretty much a metal U-shape and another metal U-shape. You and you and me. 13th time I make this stupid joke. And then they are inter-twisty mingled. 4 screws, 2 here, nicely recessed. They're completely flush. We have a battery inside, so if you want to change the battery, you can do this. They can be battery operated. We have this soft click switch, which is way cool. It's heavy duty, but it doesn't go click, 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 click. It will engage the pedal on pedal up, on a switch up, meaning pushing down doesn't engage the pedal. When you take your foot off, then the pedal turns on. Big, solid, jiggle-free knobs. Red LED. Yes, on all pedals. We have rubber feet that are slim enough so that you can put Velcro right over them, which is way cool. You don't have to take the feet off. Top mounted ins and outs, and top mounted 9 volt. Nicely spaced, absolutely fine, space for everything. 9 volt input is on the PCB, but it seems solid. It suggests to use 100 milliamp output on your power supply, which, yes, that's true, but it doesn't mean the pedal takes 100 milliamp. Now, like on all the other pedals, let me find out what it actually takes, because they say that on the website. For some pedals, not all of them. But on this pedal, yeah, 5 milliamps. So we're 95 milliamps away from, on the force field, from what this thing says. Meaning, you can daisy chain them, you can daisy chain the force field, maybe with a, maybe with a drive, and put several on 100 milliamp output, but you have to be careful that sometimes certain combinations don't work. Just take out one pedal and see which one is the culprit, okay? Very solid, like a brick, serious pedals. In terms of size, this is an old tone print pedal, which I really like the shape, the weight, and everything about these. These are quite a bit heavier. So they are taller, they are wider, and they are thicker, just to give you a reference, okay? What's nice, you could put these right next to each other on your pedal board. They are spaced in a way that you can still operate them with your feet without actually engaging the other pedal. So, compression. What does compression do? Well, it's kind of not really necessary to use a compressor on drive sounds. You can, not a problem. If your drive sound goes down too fast, if you want more sustain, you can use a compressor, but you don't necessarily have to do this. Compression can help you in certain ways. If your sound is too spiky, too loud, so the loud parts, the attack portion of your sound, is hitting your amp too hard, you could use the compressor to reduce those spikes. Okay? That would be like a limiting function. Especially with clean sounds, they don't compress that much. What that means is you have a very loud attack portion of the sound, and then the sound very quickly dwindles away. So, not that much sustain. The quiet parts of the sound get quiet relatively fast. Now, what a compressor does is, you tell it, this is as loud as your guitar is, okay? That's the loudest part at the attack portion, then quickly, boom, it goes away. You tell it, once you hit a certain threshold level, which is here, okay? Once anything under this the compressor does nothing, and everything over this, meaning this part over here, okay, that triggers the compressor. And the compressor will then, at a certain ratio, which is set in this, you can't change it, reduce the volume. It's not going to limit it, but above this threshold, every 1 dB that goes in might only, every 2 dB that go in might only come out as 1 dB. Every 4 dB that go in might only come out as 1 dB. Every 8 dB that you get louder, it actually will only give out 1 dB. So a 2 to 1, 4 to 1, 8 to 1, those are different ratios. I don't know what the ratio on this is. But that means you're getting louder and louder and louder, and yes, your signal still gets louder, but not quite as loud as it actually is getting. So it is reducing that. Well, the benefit of this is that because you don't have these spikes anymore, you can actually take the whole signal and raise it up. That's what the level control is for, also called makeup gain. So if your really spiky attack portion of the sound like, isn't that loud anymore, because it gets reduced because it's above the threshold, then the quiet parts can all be raised up. With that also, the noise could get louder, which is an issue. But that means that if the quiet parts get louder, it will sound as if your guitar has more sustain, when in reality all you're doing is making the quiet stuff louder, okay? So you can tame the peaks, and you can make it so that your guitar rings longer, so that the quiet parts stay longer. It also, because all the loud stuff is now quieter and all the quiet stuff is now louder, it evens out dynamics. So a compressor will not allow you to play as dynamically as if you don't have a compressor. So of course the differences between quiet and loud have been reduced. The attack is how soon will the compressor actually do this volume reduction after it hit the threshold. So you could retain some of that attack portion, but then, so you could go bang, have that attack, and only after that the compressor does its job. Meaning you could have that spiky attack and the guitar could still then come up and be fatter. So, hope this makes sense. We are testing this with the Natsangi Thelma 42. Come on, this is an absolutely beautiful handmade guitar by Werner Wende. What a super brilliant guy. Look at this beautiful maple trim here. This is a T-style guitar. It's big. Everything about it's big. We have a maple trim here. This is a Douglas fir, actually, with an ash top. We have a, I don't know how many piece neck there with walnut and ash and maple. Beautiful, dirty kind of maple fretboard. Leo Sounds pickups, P90 and single coil, volume tone, Schaller tuners. It's a beautiful guitar. Thank you, Werner, for parking this here. It's going into the FORCEFIELD. That is going into a Skysurfer for those clean sounds with just a tiny bit of reverb. I have it on plate, very, very subtly set up. And that's going into the Joyo Clones on a doppelganger setting on the vintage channel, so it's a very clean sound. That's going into the Torpedo Studio on the setting Vintage 2, which is 2 different 212 caps. And that's really all that's happening. So, without anything, this is my clean sound. Can I do this? Let's start with the reverb first. Skysurfer is also $49 from the same series. And of course, as we've discussed previously, what is bucks? Apparently that comes from, someone commented, times when people were hunting and they were shooting deer or something, that's a buck, and so it was a currency, deer hides. I say euro, bucks. I say dollars, bucks. All the same to me. Hey, we were hunting here too, fuckers. So, we're gonna, by now you should actually see the pedal. I'm gonna go straight up. Sustain is the threshold. When does it start to compress? Pretty much how much compression do we have? Attack is how soon does it start to compress? How much of your attack gets retained? And level is the makeup gain. Yes, it sounds fuller, it sounds richer. Does it actually sound louder? Maybe a bit. Louder would also result in you experiencing it as fuller, better. Louder is always better. We're guitar players, come on. Very transparent in a way that it actually doesn't change the sound at all. It just enriches it. It's kind of the, when you're clean, you always want it on pedal. Compared to, let's say, what's it called? The Dynacomp from MXR, which really changes the sound. It makes the sound woollier in a way, and the attack ploppier. This doesn't change it in this setting too much. So let's start with the sustain knob and see what we can get. So this is, I always have to turn it on and off, I'm sorry, that's how you do compressors. Let's check this chord and see how long it rings. It stays fuller longer, just what we would expect. I do a lot of compression, but with no attack. Let's see what that does. Yes, no attack, it rounds it off. The compressor is pretty much all there all the time. The more I give attack on the attack knob, the spikier my notes will be. So I can nicely round off a sound if I want that. I don't know what I'm doing. Wait a second, I'm going to figure this out. That's what I want to do. See? It's a damn good pedal if it makes you try new things. If you're like, hey, this is cool, I wouldn't have played this otherwise. When a pedal makes you want to be creative, when a pedal drives you to try new stuff, then music happens, okay? Then creativity happens. And that's for me the best indicator of a good pedal. Do you want to play? Do you want to play new shit? Let's go in the middle position. Let's go all the way here. While we're compressing a lot, so the noise floor is coming up. much compression there. Let's go a little bit tamer here. Oh! Funny enough, the channel got started because I bought a compressor. No shit, I bought the Dynacomp because I wanted that spanky kind of country sound, because I wanted to play around with these kind of clean sounds, and for that you need a good compressor. And I bought a Dynacomp at Thomann and 2 Joyo pedals. And a few years ago, I don't know, 4 years ago now, this whole shebang started, and now we're talking. So I thank that Dynacomp, and I thank the fact that I wanted a compressor for all of this, because it's awesome, you are awesome. So let's do it with a little bit less compression, see what it does. Subtle, but not really what we want. Can you use it like a little boost? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, but it's not nice. So that's what we want. We want to be right here. That kind of would be my setting. FORCEFIELD compressor, TC Electronic, absolutely highly recommended. It works. 49 bucks, simple design, straightforward, easy to dial in what you want, set and forget, and pretty much always keep it in your signal chain when you play those clean sounds. Arpeggiated chords, country picking, beautiful singing single note lines for clean stuff. You could, of course, use it with drive sounds if you want those drive sounds to have more sustain. If you want them to be fuller. I can absolutely see this thing being a staple on pedal boards. Really, 49 bucks, it does the job. It's solid, it's from a good company, it's from a company that if something ever happens to the pedal, they will have enough distributors and service stations so that you can get it repaired or exchanged. You don't have to send it back to China, which is probably the case for most of these budget pedals that come directly from China through eBay or Amazon. I recommend you don't buy from those outlets because it will come directly from China, and if your pedals break, you're shit out of luck. So, if you ask me, it's the bee's knees, as they say in my hood. It's great. FORCEFIELD compressor from TC Electronic is in the link below this video, along with Natsangi guitars, Werner Wender's Stromgitarren, Natsangi Stromgitarren, link below this video, as well as a link to my Patreon account if you want to help me out, if you want to support the channel, please do. I would very much like that, but it's up to you. That was it for me. And 13 of the TC tank pedals. Thank you to TC Electronic for shipping them over so I could do all of this and present them to you, my loyal viewers. Thank you. See ya, people. He's standing up really tall. Yeah,
der Finger die Handwehr ab.
Wow, guck mal, wie groß er sich macht.